Yeah, look, I mean, our focal point was obviously to be as fit as possible, to be the fittest version of ourselves. But the reality of the situation is, we do play a lot of cricket, and there's no denying that. And my case, for example, I mean, as much as I take pride in, being absolutely fit at all times, but you do obviously take a lot of things for granted as well. The fact that I've been playing three formats in the IPL since 2012 regularly, for the last 10 years, is almost a thing that's taken for granted, that I will more or less feature in every game that India plays. But that is not how sport works, unfortunately. And same is the case with people who you have mentioned just now, who played a lot of cricket for us for 4, 5, 6 years straight. Jadeja obviously features in most of the games that we play. So these injuries are a natural occurrence. I think there has to be the right balance between the quantity and the intensity, obviously, that you play with. You obviously want to compete at top intensity, so quantity becomes even more important. And more so now with playing in environments where we are restricted most of the time. I think these things are already being discussed and being considered, and I think things are going to improve more and more as we move forward, and more space created for people who play all the formats of the game regularly. So this is the only way that you can manage it. But yeah, it's very important to manage these things also, because you don't want to lose important players in important games, and eventually the team will suffer because of it. So yeah, these are the few things that I have observed that have led to niggles that you see occurring now at a regular basis with people. It's not the first time. Let's not you know get away from the reality too much. It's happened a few times in my career. England 2014 was one of those phases. But look, the thing is that I don't kind of look at myself from the lens that the outside world looks at me with. And eventually, the standards that we are talking about today, that I'm being compared with, have been set by myself. So they are not an occurrence from outside. And more than anyone else, I take a lot of pride in wanting to do the best thing for the team that I can, and wanting to perform regularly for the team, and hence I've been able to do that for a long period of time. You have to understand, in sports sometimes things do not go the way you want them to go, but at the end of the day, I realize as a player, as a batsman, that I've been involved in very important moments for the team over the last calendar year or so. And for me, that is a matter of a lot of pride, that I've been a part of very important partnerships when the team needed me. And eventually, those moments have been crucial for us in many test matches. So sometimes your focal point has to shift. If all the time you're going to look at yourself and judge yourself on the basis of numbers and milestones, I don't think you'll ever be content or happy with what you're doing. And I take a lot of pride and happiness in the process that I'm following, and I'm at peace with how I'm playing, and what I'm being able to do for the team when there is a tricky scenario. And as long as I'm doing that and taking a lot of pride and motivation to be in those moments, I have nothing else to worry about, because the reality of the situation is that you eventually want to make impact performances for the team. And my best effort is always to do that, and I truly believe that I don't need to prove anything to anyone. It's just that when you are in a place where I am, you are constantly going to be judged, and that is just the job of the outside world. I don't look at myself like that. Yeah, I mean, we all look back at that phase very fondly. It's hard to believe when I look back at the screenshots of the time that I became Test captain. We were number 7 in the world. I mean, to be fair, I mean, we can't even relate to that reality anymore, because we've been number 1 for 4 or 5 years in a row now, and it's been a collective commitment, passion, and almost a madness of the whole squad. But obviously, I had to lay down a vision and a path that we need to follow, and probably lead from the front in that regard, because I knew that I will have to kind of play with a very high intensity to be able to drive this passion and this motivation and this environment in the team, where we are looking forward to arriving on the field every day of a test match and being optimistic that we can win from any situation. Because if you don't have that passion, commitment, and that madness to almost just give everything out there in Test cricket, you cannot calculate your way out of a situation in Test matches. You cannot just manage only by strategizing in Test cricket. That passion, that commitment, that willpower has to come to the surface for you to be a very consistent side and find ways of winning, and almost start enjoying doing the dirty work, as we say in cricket, where you're absolutely in the worst situation possible, but you're still telling yourself, I can find a way here and I can win the game for my team. And unless you do that, 5 days is going to be torture on the field. One day in T20 cricket is very different, but I think this is the kind of intent we needed in Test cricket. And to realize today we have a group of fast bowlers where we are so confused before every game who to play. I couldn't be happier sitting in this position, because I know that Indian cricket has benefited immensely from that, and I have fulfilled my responsibility in terms of getting to a place where people have started thinking about our bowling lineup before they consider the conditions. So for us as a team, that is such a factor of confidence boosting, and something that we take a lot of pride in today. But understanding that it's been the hard work of that group of bowlers. And I always say that Indian cricket, Test cricket especially, is where it is because of the way our fast bowlers have rallied around in the last few years, and the strength that they have brought to the squad. Otherwise, this dream and this vision would not have come to life for sure. Yes, I would say so. And again, I go back to the point that I mentioned just now, that people are looking for ways to make impact performances for the team. You see different people stepping up on different days to make sure that they do the job for the team, and that can only happen when you have immense drive and commitment towards winning Test matches. And we are not a side that shies away from situations. Yes, we might be beaten or outplayed every now and then, but it's our will to find results and to keep going forward that's gotten us the success that we have today. And that mindset obviously has spread through the squad for years now. Everyone knows that coming into the Indian Test team, you need to have a certain mentality. Otherwise, the game is drifting too far away, because we are a team that moves Test matches, that moves the game forward, and we like to do that. So anyone who's probably not on the same page can find themselves in a very strange situation in terms of lack of clarity and not knowing what's going on. But everyone knows what it takes to be a part of this Test team now, and everyone comes here absolutely prepared, physically, mentally, skill wise, and that's all you need at the end of the day. And people are very, very professional, and hence you see these impact performances regularly. Yes, I'm absolutely fit. Siraj obviously is recovering from the niggle he had in the last game, and at present I do not think that he's match ready to take the field in the third test. And you obviously cannot risk a guy who's not at 110% as a fast bowler, because we know how important that little niggle opening up and extending into an injury could be for the team. So yeah, Siraj is not up to the mark, but I'm absolutely fit to play tomorrow. No, I don't. I do. I mean, Jadeja's value everyone understands and everyone knows over the years what he's done for the team. But I think Ash has been playing that role beautifully as well for us. If you look at his batting contributions in the last test and the way he bowled in that second innings, I mean, 19 runs in 10 overs and picking up a wicket when he easily could have had two or three. I think that's an outstanding contribution to the team. So Ash knows that his game has come forward leaps and bounds, especially bowling overseas. He understands that himself from Australia onwards, and he's in a very comfortable space where he's willing to contribute for the team, and he's doing so in the right intention, in the right way. So look, when you have these two quality cricketers, one or the other, it really doesn't matter. Unfortunately, Jadeja has had an injury, but Ash has obviously done the job in his absence, and we have full faith that Ash can continue to, play that role of a spinning all rounder for us in any conditions that we play. Well, I obviously cannot pinpoint when we will have a talk about transition. I think the game itself kind of pans out in a way where transitions happen naturally, so it cannot be forced by individuals, I feel. And if you look at the last test, I mean, both Jinx and Pujara, the way they batted in the second innings, that experience is obviously priceless for us. And especially in series like these where these guys have done the job in the past, and when you are playing overseas in tough conditions, these guys will always step up with impact performances. We saw that in Australia as well, the last time we were there, and we're seeing that now as well in the last test. Crucial knocks at crucial situations in crucial scenarios, and that has a lot of value. So I feel transitions do happen, but they happen naturally, and a conversation cannot be forced around a transition, is what I've experienced and what I feel. When the transition has to happen, everyone knows in which direction the team is moving, and that is a very natural progression. So I think we should leave the transition to unfold itself, and not necessarily force individuals in difficult situations or in tricky situations. And I definitely truly believe in that. आई थिंक केएल ने काफ़ी बैलेंस तरीके से कैप्टनसी करी सेकंड टेस्ट में, और प्लान्स और फील्ड प्लेसमेंट्स जो करी, उससे यही मुझे देखने को मिला कि उनकी पूरी कोशिश थी कि किस तरीके से हम विकेट्स ले सकें या ब्रेक थ्रू कर सकें सेकेंड इनिंग में. आई थिंक सिचुएशन ऐसी थी कि साउथ अफ्रीका ने बहुत अच्छी क्रिकेट खेली वो रन चेस करने के लिए, और उससे ज़्यादा आई डोंट थिंक कि कुछ किया जा सकता था इन माय ओपिनियन. सबका अलग अलग स्टाइल होता है ऑब्वियसली, कैप्टनसी का मे भी कुछ चीज़ें मैं अलग करता, लेकिन इंटेंट हमेशा वही रहता है कि आप कैसे विकेट्स ले सकते हैं, आप किस प्लान में बिलीव करते हैं. तो आई थिंक उन्होंने काफ़ी बैलेंस्ड काम किया. और ऋषभ के साथ हम लोगों ने प्रैक्टिस में कॉन्वर्सेशन करी, और देखिए जिस तरीके के शॉट बैट्समैन खेल के आउट होते हैं, सबसे पहले बैट्समैन को पता होता है कि आपने एक सिचुएशन के हिसाब से सही शॉट खेला कि नहीं. और एज लॉन्ग एज एज एन इंडिविजुअल सब लोग उस रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को एक्सेप्ट करें, आई थिंक उसी से प्रोग्रेस होती है. और गलतियां हम सब लोगों ने करी हैं अपने करियर में, इम्पॉर्टेंट सिचुएशंस में हम आउट हुए हैं, कभी हमारी गलती से, कभी प्रेशर की वजह से, कभी बॉलर्स की स्किल की वजह से. तो इस चीज़ को समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि उस मोमेंट में माइंडसेट क्या था, आपने क्या डिसीजन लिया, और आपका आपका आपकी गलती कहाँ थी उसमें. आई थिंक जब जब तक हम अपनी गलती ढूंढते रहेंगे और एक्सेप्ट करते रहेंगे, तभी हम इम्प्रूव करेंगे, और अगली बार हम मेक श्योर करेंगे कि वो गलती दोबारा रिपीट ना हो. जैसे कि मैंने कई बार पहले बोला है कि एम एस धोनी ने मुझे बहुत अच्छी सलाह दी थी शुरू में, कि एक गलती और दूसरी गलती के बीच में एटलीस्ट 7 या 8 महीने का गैप होना चाहिए, तभी आपका करियर बड़ा होता है इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट में. तो वो चीज़ मुझे मेरे एकदम सिस्टम में बैठ गई कि मैं सेम गलती बार बार नहीं करूंगा. और वो तभी होती है जब आप अपनी गलती पे रिफ्लेक्ट करते हैं, जो कि ऋषभ खुद करता है, और ये मुझे पता है, और वो डेफिनेटली इम्प्रूव करता रहेगा आगे जाते हुए भी. और ही विल मेक श्योर कि इम्पोर्टेंट सिचुएशंस में वो टीम के लिए खड़े होके एक बड़ी परफॉर्मेंस देगा, और अपनी गलतियों से सीखता चला जाएगा. हाँ, पहले तो मतलब ये ज़रूर जहन में आता है कि जो अनफॉर्चुनेटली एक टीम एनवायरनमेंट, एक टीम डायनेमिक में नहीं स्टार्ट कर पाते मैचेस, उनको कैसा फील होता है. मतलब ऑब्वियसली मैंने एक्सपीरियंस किया है शुरू में अपने करियर में, बट सिचुएशन ऐसी रही, गॉड हैज़ बिन काइंड, कि मुझे इतना वो नहीं फेस करने को मिला बाद में, और उसके लिए मैं बहुत ग्रेटफुल भी हूँ. पर ऑनेस्टली मुझे दूसरा टेस्ट ना खेलने में थोड़ा, मतलब ऑलमोस्ट आप गिल्टी फील करते हो कि यार मुझे स्पैज़म कैसे हो गया, मतलब ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है, आप एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते हो. और आई थिंक वो एक माहौल ऐसा बन जाता है, जैसे मैंने बोला कि लास्ट 10-11 साल से मैं 3 फॉर्मेट और आईपीएल खेल रहा हूँ कॉन्स्टेंटली, और वर्कलोड ऑब्वियसली ज़्यादा रहता ही है जब आप परफॉर्म करते रहते हैं कंसिस्टेंटली. और उसके आसपास ट्रेनिंग डेज, जो जिम में आप मेहनत करते हैं, ट्रैवलिंग डेज, सब चीज़ों का एक्यूमुलेशन होता है. तो कहीं ना कहीं इस चीज़ को ग्रांटेड ले लिया जाता है कि यार ये तो हर मैच खेलेगा ही, मतलब फिटनेस का तो कोई इशू नहीं होगा. क्योंकि इससे पहले मुझे जब भी स्पैजम्स हुए हैं वो मैच के बीच में हुए हैं, मैच से जस्ट पहले नहीं हुए. तो बीच में आप मैनेज कर सकते हैं, लेकिन जब मैच से पहले हो जाता है स्पैजम, तो आपको लगता है कि यार मैं खेल नहीं पाऊंगा. लाइक बहुत अजीब सी फीलिंग होती है. बट ऑल्सो आपको रियलिटी दिखाता है कि आप स्पोर्ट खेल रहे हैं, और आपकी बॉडी वेयर एंड टेयर के थ्रू जाती है, और आपको ये एक्सेप्ट करना पड़ेगा कि आप भी इंसान हैं, और अपने आप को एक इंसान की तरह देखना बहुत ज़रूरी है. और जब तक वो आपका पर्सपेक्टिव क्लियर नहीं रहेगा, तो आप हमेशा थोड़ी बहुत इन चीज़ों की वजह से फ्रस्ट्रेशन आनी आई डोंट थिंक कि सही चीज़ है, बिकॉज स्पोर्ट में ऑब्वियसली निगल्स और इंजरीज बहुत नेचुरल हैं, जो कि मैंने बहुत पूरी कोशिश करी है अवॉइड करने की, और आगे भी अपनी फिटनेस वगैरह पे मैं काम करता ही रहता हूँ। लेकिन हाँ, बहुत अजीब फीलिंग थी मेरे लिए, और जैसे मैंने बोला कि मुझे भी यकीन नहीं हो रहा था और काफ़ी लोगों को भी लग रहा था कि यार मतलब मैच कैसे नहीं खेलेगा, बट दिस इज पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ स्पोर्ट।